People are leaving the church in record numbers. People are leaving the church in record numbers. People are leaving the church in record numbers. And that's biblical prophecy. The scripture prophesies that the closer we get to the end, we'll see what's called a great apostasy, which is a great falling away from the faith. So the more people we see falling away from the faith, that's a sign to us that we're closer to the end. And I laugh because you recognize that that's happening right now in our society, that people are falling away from the faith in droves. That's also a biblical prophecy that that will happen the closer we get to the end. So one, that's going to continue because the scripture prophesies that as we get closer to the return of Jesus, more people will fall away from the faith. So one, that's not going to stop. That's going to increase. But secondly, where we can take responsibility, this is myself, pastors and leaders, is that a lot of people are not really, they don't have beef with God. They got beef with the people who represent Him, right? Because we're poor representations of Him. You know, a lot of us in my camp who are spiritually abusive, we're manipulative, we're raping people for money. We have poor character. We always doing evil in the dark. And when people see that in clergy, they get turned off. They don't want no parts of the church and they walk away and things like that.
Praise to Yahawah.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah Hashem, Yahawashi, Hashem, Rakwakwidash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone. Shalom to the mighty Akim, Wakwafim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this vile captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharallah, his brother Kabakab coming at you with no lesson. And I need to play this back one more time because when I first heard it, I was actually just stun-locked, speechless, whatever you want to call it, because I genuinely could not believe that he just said that. Like I was actually just literally shocked that he just said that. All right, so
not really. One, that's not going to stop. That's going to increase. But secondly, where we can take responsibility, this is myself, pastors and leaders, is that a lot of people are not really, they don't have beef with God. They got beef with the people who represent Him, right? Because we're poor representations of Him. You know, a lot of us in my camp who are spiritually abusive, we're manipulative, we're raping people for money. We have poor character. We always doing evil in the dark. And when people see that in clergy, they get turned off. They don't want no parts of the church and they walk away and things like that.
He literally just admitted, and that's the thing that's surprising me. It's just like he literally just admitted to the stuff that we've been knowing, like we knew. All right, and maybe some people experienced it firsthand. I didn't, but I mean, I kind of knew. I knew this because that's what they were saying. That's what these people constantly go out and reporting. But he's basically just admitting that this is what the church is about. So why would people go to church? But yet that's supposed to be, that's a bad thing that people are leaving the church. Like, it's lucky because, like, yeah, I really hope that you are attempting to understand like what he's saying and what's going on, because just the simple fact that people are leaving the church does not automatically equate that people are not affiliating with YAHAWASHI. Because me personally, before I became an Israelite, before I acknowledged that I was an Israelite, before I got into this truth, I still believed in a God. I still believe in the God of the Bible, and that never changed all throughout my life. But I did say to myself, I don't fuck with the church. I hated constantly having to go to church and Sunday school and stuff like that, taking I don't know, half or more than half of my fucking Sunday morning and stuff like that, when I could have done. I just want to fucking play video games. All right, that's what I wanted to do at that time. So I'm over here watching this. I'm over here listening to this guy literally admit that he is He literally, okay, he literally is admitting that they are abusing people, robbing them of their money, and doing all this evil and stuff like that. He's admitting to it, but he's saying that that people leaving the church is apostasy. People leaving the church, it's a fall away from faith. When where the fuck is the faith in the Christian churches? There is no faith, because if you actually had faith, your ass wouldn't be doing all those stuff that you just admitted to. So yes, you are a poor representation. No, you are not a poor representation. You are not a representation of YAHAWAH in the slightest. You are the representation of Esau Edom, the devil, and what he wants people to worship, rather than the actual representatives of YAHAWAH. So no, you are not poor representation. You are not a representation at all. All right, because the thing is, let me get this over here. I don't think that's the word. Fuck. First Peter chapter 2 verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because MANASHAH also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. You're not supposed to be going against the steps, the example that Yahawashi showed. Yahawashi didn't go around abusing people and all that shit. He went around helping people. And the pastors and shit, the Christian leaders, they're doing the complete opposite of that. So how is it that you guys are the leaders, you guys are the representatives and stuff like that? You're not just a poor representative. You're not a representative in the slightest. You are not affiliated with YAHAWASHI. All right, because the Lord does not know you. How are you going to say you are representative when you're doing everything that the Lord did not want you to do? All right, to make merchandise of the people, robbing people's money, and then going to spend it on for yourself. The Bible speaks about charity. Get that. First Peter 4 verse 8. And above all things have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. All right, but where are these pastors' charity? Where are their consideration for their congregation? Not even just their congregation, but for people that they're trying to convince in the first place. All right. Even the Muslims have better charity than you. All right, like, it's ridiculous. Christians don't know shit about charity. Well, I mean, obviously not all of them. Maybe I'll say 90%, 80%, 90% don't know. Just say 80. Yeah, I'll be generous and say 80. Sirach chapter 4 verse 27. Make not thyself an underling to a foolish man, neither accept the person of the mighty. All right, and you're not supposed to be following after these wicked ass pastors, these wicked ass leaders who are intentionally abusing their power, intentionally using their positions to do what they want. And he admitted that they're doing stuff behind closed doors, doing evil in the dark. He said,
we have poor character. We always doing evil in the dark.
Doing evil in the dark, by his words, not mine. I'm not putting words in his mouth. He's saying them from his mouth. He's admitting to this stuff. I don't know what podcast or whatever the fuck that's at, but still, Philip Anthony Mitchell, he's over here saying all this stuff, acting as if this is Bible prophecy. Oh, this is just a trial. No, this ain't no trial. This is you being a fucking demon. And the people do not want to be a part of that. It's literally that simple. Matthew 15:14. Let them alone. They be blind as the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. How are you going to say that you follow someone that is admitting to be like, and Slaka, that's a crazy thing to me. It's just like, he will admit to this stuff, and people will still dick ride. People will still just say, "Oh, it's okay. I forgive him. We need to forgive him. We need to build him up. This, that, and the third. All that bullshit." Like, what the fuck are you talking about? How are you going to? If someone is admitting, Slaka, if someone is admitting to abusing their power, why are you allowing them to stay in that position to continue to abuse their power? All right. That should have no place in the congregation of the Lord. That's just objectively unacceptable. All right. But of course, Christians and respect their persons. Matthew 23 verse 9, and call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. And yet you got people again respecting these pastors, respecting these people, putting them as their priority. And in all honesty, it's gotten to a point where a lot of Christians, they tend to worship their pastor rather than worshiping their pastors rather than acknowledging who YAHAWASHI is. So it's not, the pastors don't become middleman, they become the gods instead. And this kind of this reminds me of Muslims and their relationship to Prophet Muhammad, where Muhammad kind of got to a point where like everything was centered around him rather than their God, or more so was like more like a partnership. Because I don't know how to say it, but it just kind of seemed more like this is not even any objective fact. Cause, it's been a while since I studied about that, but it does kind of just seem like Muhammad was really heavily prioritized. All right, like damn near like he was damn near the equivalent of Yahawashi to Christians. All right. So I forgot what. Oh yeah. So yeah, basically prioritize their poor priorities. Slakia, poor priorities is the best term to use. Romans 13 verse 11, and that knowing the time, and now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. And this is the true thing where he's saying that there's going to be a great apostasy. Well, in actuality, you realize that a lot of people, all right, they are most people across the world, not just America, but most people across the world, Christianity is like one of the top 3 religions in the world. So if people are disassociating from Christianity, where is that awakening? All right. So if Christianity was the right thing and everyone was already following Christianity, then okay, so then what's going on here? Like where is that awakening? All right. So basically the thing here, Romans 13 verse 11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. This is the thing that's going on where there's going to be a mass awakening, a mass surge of people that come to the realization that, okay, you know what I was following is not the right way. Whom I was following was not the right one. And now I'm starting to see that now I'm coming to my senses and stuff like that, that this is the right way. This is the truth. These are the lies and stuff like that. These are the deceivers. And this is how we're getting to these conclusions rather than allowing these people to deceive us. So, mostly, biblical prophecy leads towards, the awakening rather than people leaving the Christian church. So with that, prayer system was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, SHAMAIWAN, double honesty, I was an apostle, great meal, son of God, SHAMAIWAN.